This is a quick midweek update on the stock market. So the economy is stronger than what the Fed probably hopes. NASDAQ is rolling over right there. NASDAQ went a little bit above that resistance line and started pulling back. Tesla, I said at the time, looked like it was just getting ready to take off. So here's the daily chart. Hello, folks. Today is Wednesday, November 29th. November's almost over. And this is a quick midweek update on the stock market. Hopefully, I'm not sure if I'll be back with Zuber on Sunday or not, but I'll do one anyway on Sunday. So let's real quick, this probably won't take too long today. Let me take a look at what the market looks like. So we had a nice rally this morning, and I thought it was actually going to continue, but it basically gave it all back. Let me share my screen here and show you what I'm talking about. And I think part of that was because we had a better than expected GDP number. So the economy is stronger than what the Fed probably hopes. But interestingly, and I've been saying last week, I said it on Sunday, that I think that we're probably going to have a pullback, and we probably need a pullback before we head into the end of the year. And if you look at what happened here, this is the S&P. It touched this. Now, this resistance line has been here for anybody that's been watching the channel. I haven't moved this line. This has been here for quite a while. And we went up and basically just touched it almost to the tick and reversed and started selling off. And you can see here where the PPO or MACD is crossing to the downside. The RSI is oversold above 70. Overbought, sorry, above 70. And accumulation distribution is showing that there is some distribution, and we've got a gap to fill down here. So I think the pullback has probably begun. I'm going to show you something else here in a second, historically, of why that might continue for the rest of the week. But let's take a look at the NASDAQ. Should look similar. NASDAQ is rolling over right there. NASDAQ went a little bit above that resistance line and started pulling back. So again, there's a gap to fill down here. I wouldn't be surprised for these to come back to the 21-day moving average, which is usually where the reversion to the mean typically happens. 21-day right now is at 44.62 and rising, so it might get up to 44.70, 44.75, which is just above this gap. So, on one day, and I think probably it's going to be next week, the market could go down and then reverse during the day and head back higher again. We'll see if that happens. It'll be interesting to see what happens with the CPI number next week. PCE is tomorrow too, by the way. So we'll see how that one comes in. The Fed will be looking at that as well. Actually, CPI is the week after next. Sorry. So let's take a look at, real quick, the Stock Traders Almanac. And first I want to show you, just remind you what December looks like. So you can see here, December kind of goes sideways, but we are 12, no, we're back here 11/29. So this is next week. This is December. So you can see December is kind of flat. It actually declines here in the middle of the month, right during CPI and the Fed rate hike meeting. And then it takes off at the end. So it's really not till the end. And when you think about the Santa Claus rally, it's not going to start until the 22nd. So we've still got 3 weeks before the real rally really gets kicked off and gets started. But let me show you something else from Stock Traders Almanac, which I thought was really interesting. And that is what the first day of December usually does. And that's this Friday coming up. So you can see here, this is the first day of December going back to 2001. And notice the number of days that are red. 2008, of course, down 7%. That was the biggest drop, both for the Dow, the S&P, and the NASDAQ. And on average, down 0.17, 0.21, 0.25%, roughly. But Friday is typically a down day, Friday, the first day of December. So with that in mind, and the fact that I think that I've been saying that we were probably going to have a pullback, I think that just reinforces it. So I wouldn't be surprised if we pull back before we start to take off again. We'll see what happens. Let me show you also something that a feature that I'm going to put in the website. And these are the top, this is year to date. So these won't change too much year to date. I'm going to put in probably the top 20. So 2, 4, 6, 8, 10, 12, 14, 16, 18. So down here to Salesforce. So that's the top 20. That's year to date, best performers so far this year. So you can see the names: Amazon, ServiceNow, GE, Carnival. NVIDIA is the number 1 and Meta is number 2. And then also, if I flip it around, these are the worst performers. So you can see SolarEdge and Enphase, the 2 worst performers right there. Dollar General, Walgreens, these, Pfizer, these are the ones that have performed the worst for year to date. Now, interestingly, Enphase, these 2 are solar stocks. I talked about last time the fact that alternative energy has not been doing very well at all. But if we just take a look at Enphase on its own, you can see it's trying to make a comeback right here. But if we look at this a little bit different and take a look going back 4 years, look at that. So that right there is the definition of trying to catch a falling knife. You know, it looks like it keeps trying to recover, and then it just falls even faster. Tries to recover, falls again. And right now it's trying to recover again. So will it fall again, just like before? Who knows? Maybe not. Maybe it will continue higher. But I had a conversation with a subscriber, and I said, you know, yes, you want to try to buy things at the low, hoping that they'll go higher. But there's no way to tell when the low is on a chart like this. You want to see something that's actually been, you know, crossing into the green before you can feel assured that it's starting to go back up again. And Enphase just does not look like that right now, at least not yet. And it might at some point. If we look at SolarEdge, you can do the same thing with SolarEdge, the worst performer year to date. And that's, by the way, that's all the S&P and the NASDAQ 100. That's what those are taken from. If we look at the same chart for SolarEdge, straight down. I mean, it hasn't even tried to recover. So, I mean, that really is a falling knife. So I would stay away from these solar stocks for now, unless you really want to gamble and try to get in at the bottom, but you never really know if that's the bottom or not. But that does not look very pretty. Now let's take a look at something that we talked about on Sunday. Actually, the video came out on Monday, so you probably saw it Monday. And that was Tesla. Tesla, I said at the time, looked like it was just getting ready to take off. And we looked at the weekly here, and I said then that it hadn't crossed yet back then. And in fact, let's see, has it crossed now? Yeah, it's just crossed over on the weekly chart. So Tesla just crossed over. It had not crossed when I did this on Sunday. If I look at the daily chart for Tesla, it hasn't quite got there yet. So it's like I said on Sunday, it looks like it's just about ready, but not quite ready. That was on Sunday. But yesterday, it actually was ready. So here's the daily chart. You can see where all these moving averages are now converged. And the price is starting to move higher. Now, it had a really nice run on Tuesday, yesterday, and it continued that run in the morning. And I thought it was going to continue along with everything else. But instead, it pulled back, just like many other ones did. So there's Tesla right now. But I think it, once we get through this little pullback period, in the markets. And even if this comes back down to these moving averages and then goes back up again, I think it might be ready to go. Not a recommendation, but something to keep an eye on. But let's take a look at some of these other ones. Here's Alphabet, Google. Look at that. Nice rally in the morning. Gave it all back. Here's Amazon. Nice rally in the morning. Gave it all back. Every one of these look very similar. Here's Apple. Again, nice rally. Gave it back. So I think the rest of the week we might be seeing a pullback the rest of this week. Friday being a day that's normally, historically, is a negative day. And into the first week or so of December, a lot of times can be negative. But the big thing that I'll be looking at is this right here, CPI inflation report on the 12th. So next week, we might go down a little bit. We might go down and fill that gap. And then we'll see what that CPI number is. I think it's not going to be as good as we've seen in the past. It might be flat, maybe. I'm worried about January, though. So we'll see what happens. I'll talk about that when we get closer to it. So that's where we are right now. Most of those other stocks are everything gave back today. The market itself gave a lot back. I thought it was going to start to take off, but it actually reversed. And that means I think it's probably going to come back down here to test this 21-day moving average. All right, so that's pretty much what I have for today. Hope that was helpful. If anybody's interested in trying to get in, even after this big run, I think there might be an opportunity here the next couple of weeks. If the market pulls back, we might have a chance to get in before the end of the year run. But I do think that end of year run is going to happen. All right. Hope everyone has a great week. Talk to you on Sunday. Not sure if I'll be solo on Sunday or if Zuba will be back, or even if he is back, if he's going to be in a mood to do any videos, but we'll see. Doesn't seem to stop him even on vacation, right? So anyway, thanks a lot, folks. Thanks for watching, and talk to you soon. By the way, if anyone is interested in getting my newsletter, just go to breakpointtrading.net, and at the top of the page, the top of every page, but the home page in particular, the link is right here. You just click on this link, and it will take you to this PDF, and that will give you the newsletter. This usually is out here on the site by Saturday around 1 o'clock Eastern time. So you can take a look at it there. Thanks a lot. Talk to you soon. Take care.